welcome back to my reviews of my favorite Transformers cartoon ever, Beast Wars! Today, we're taking a look at the episode Transmutate. In this episode, a new protoform is activated, and although it is heavily damaged, it is extremely powerful, leading to some uncomfortable reactions that I feel go against established character personalities. We begin this episode with Megatron having a nap in his room while taking Energon intravenously? Could he not just drink it or something? How do the Maximals consume Energon in this show anyways? I don't think we've ever seen them take in Energon in this entire series. Well, aside from now, of course. But why does Megatron have to take it like this? I don't like it. It makes me feel uncomfortable. But I guess I better get used to that when it comes to this episode. Anyways, Rampage tries to steal the other half of his spark back, but Megs catches him. Some of the Maximals go to take out Megatron's latest jamming tower in a highly unstable area. And as we see, Cheetor and Rat Trap end up being buried, but a stasis pod is unearthed. Silverbolt and Rampage prepare to fight for the pod when it explodes.
What in the name of my great Aunt Aussie is going on here?
Fun fact, the voice actor for RC, Sue Blue, was actually the voice director for Beast Wars, as well as Beast Machines, Transformers Animated, and the first 11 episodes of Transformers Prime. Not to mention countless other non-Transformers shows that you've probably seen. Sue Blue also plays the titular character of this episode, who we'll meet now.
Magnificent. Perfection.
Rampage's reaction is interesting, I guess is one way of putting it. I'm not sure if he's attracted to Transmutate because of their appearance, which could potentially be problematic if you think of it as him fetishizing Transmutate for being different. Although, I think throughout this episode, he seeks more of a kinship with Transmutate rather than a romantic attraction, despite what BotCon fanfiction might lead you to believe.
And I am telling you, the things coming out of these pods is just getting weirder and weirder. We should welcome what is different, not fear it.
Silverbolt's reaction is easily the one that holds up the best. Also, considering that he's a Fusor, he too could be considered one of the weird things that Rat Trap was referring to. And if you think he's weird, Rat Trap, just wait until we get the Transmetal 2s. Both sides try to convince Transmutate to join them. However, when Inferno accidentally blasts them, they unleash their Black Canary-style Energon Scream attack, and Rampage gets Transmutate to come with him.
We must save it. Save it?
You know, Rat Trap's right, Silverbolt. It's impolite to use it as a pronoun. Unless, of course, Transmutate prefers to go by it. Usually, you're much better off just using the they-them pronouns. But, of course, this was back in the 90s, before we had the same kind of non-binary vocabulary that we do today. Heck, today, Transmutate might even go by one of the neo-pronouns like Z-Them or something like that. Rampage names Transmutate, and the Predacons discover that they cannot transform.
It cannot even transform. This thing is useless. Get rid of it.
Well, Transmutate is still very powerful, and Action Masters exist. Would Megatron really not want a soldier just because they could not transform? Especially one as powerful as Transmutate?
Hasty to waste so much power. Give it a chance to prove itself.
That's exactly what I was saying. So, the Predacons use Transmutate as bait and ambush Silverbolt. But after Transmutate blasts Inferno for shoving them, and Optimus comes to Silverbolt's rescue, they go with the Maximals to their base.
Fly.
Now isn't that just prime?
However, at the Axelon, they determine that Transmutate is beyond repair.
Best thing for us all would be to put it in stasis lock.
Are we Predacons now? Do we destroy whatever does not fit our definition of perfection?
Now, this is one of the things that always irked me about this episode. For the heroic Maximals to suddenly suggest putting Transmutate in a coma, or worse considering Silverbolt's reaction, it seems rather heartless, or should I say sparkless. Could they not try to transfer Transmutate's spark to a new blank protoform? Kind of like they did with Optimus. Although, to be fair, I could see that if one wasn't available, maybe the best option would be to put Transmutate into stasis until they returned to Cybertron, where they could receive better care. But they don't make any mention of that here. Rampage beckons Transmutate to him, where he and Silverbolt face off. However, Transmutate is caught in the crossfire trying to stop them, and is ultimately destroyed.
Friend. Good. Friend. Dark. Hurt.
It's a very sad end to a sad character. Well, this was a very weird and out of left field episode to stick right in between Code of Hero, literally the best single episode of Beast Wars, and The Agenda, probably the best multi-parter in Beast Wars. It entirely interrupts the flow of Season 2 in order to tell this sad story about a disabled non-binary Transformer, which, on its own, I have to at least give Beast Wars credit for trying to tackle such subjects, even if the non-binary aspect of Transmutate was secondary to their implied disability and wasn't something that most people thought about at the time. Looking back on it now, some 20 plus years later, it's kind of groundbreaking. Primus knows we would not see any kind of non-binary or trans character in a Transformers cartoon for decades. The only other one that I can think of officially is Acid Storm in Cyberverse, and that was more of an accident on the animator's part that got retconned into inclusivity, not something originally intended by the writers. And as for a Transformer with a disability, well, I guess you could consider Rat Trap and Beast Machines to have a physical disability. Only wheels for legs, even though his toy did have legs as well. And no weaponry to speak of, forcing Rat Trap to help his teammates in other ways that weren't directly battling Vehicons. Despite being an odd one-off character, Transmutate would receive a few toys over the years. Their first toy would be the Beast Wars 10th anniversary Build-A-Figure, easily the most show-accurate of the bunch. This toy was made by collecting the parts included with the reissues of other Beast Wars toys. Although not very posable, if you're looking for a show-accurate Transmutate, this is it. I'd say that it's even more accurate than the recent third-party figure, at least color-wise. Their next toy would come from the Transformers Collectors Club. This reimagined version of Transmutate is a straight repaint of the Transformers Prime First Edition RC mold. This alternate universe version of Transmutate was depicted as female, which, on the one hand, I like this figure and incarnation of Transmutate. She looks very cute, and I'm happy to see her comfortably in a quote-unquote normal body. On the other hand, this is FunPub, and, well, the less I go on about the former FunPub members, the better. Let's just say that some of their misguided views do not hold up today. So I can see why they were adamant about making Transmutate fit a gender norm, meaning erasing her non-binary gender identity. Personally, I'd prefer a mix of both. Transmutate having their own non-binary gender identity in a body that they're comfortable with and not treated as a freak. But I digress. The final and newest Transmutate toy is the recent Generation Selects one based off the Kingdom Paleotrex figure. This toy features an all-new, show-accurate robot mode head, and Transmutate can transform into a T-Rex skeleton. I highly recommend this figure. The Paleotrex mold is a fun toy, and because of the parts forming aspect, you could probably come up with a better, somewhat more cartoon-accurate robot mode for Transmutate. But as for the episode Transmutate, Overall, it was kind of a meh episode in an otherwise stellar season. I think I would have liked to see an episode that tied more into the overarching plot of this season. But then we would have been robbed of Transmutate themselves, and one of my favorite lines in Beast Wars.
What in the name of my great Aunt Aussie is going on here?
Which makes me think, is Rat Trap actually related to RC? I sure would love to see a Beast Wars version of RC. But, as a cute little mouse, not a creepy spider. Well, what about you? What did you think of this episode of Beast Wars? Let me know down in the comments. Remember to like, subscribe, and do all that other fun stuff. And I'll see you next time for the incredible 3-parter, The Agenda. Yes, that's right. We are already reaching the end of Season 2 of Beast Wars. It seems like we just started it not too long ago. So I'll see you back here next time for that.